10 secret messages hidden in body language. Number 10. Excessive blinking. On average, we blink about 6 to 8 times a minute. Some people feel that excessive blinking indicates the person is lying. However, factors such as stress, fatigue, and medications can influence our rate of blinking. Some nervous ailments can make you blink faster than normal, and these quicker blinks will be more consistent for the most part. But when stressed or fatigued, your blinks will be slower, resulting in eye fatigue as well. Blinking is also commonly used as a form of expression. When we hear exciting news, our eyes may light up and we may blink a little bit more. However, blinking also shows if we are uninterested as well. The DailyMail reports that researchers think blinking puts up a small wall that helps us to shut out the outside world. Dr. Smilek and his team conducted a study on 15 volunteers and tracked their eye movements and blinks while a sensor tracked their eyes. He reported that the volunteers blinked more when they weren't paying attention, and you start closing your eyes when the mind begins to wander, so there's less information being processed in the brain.
So the next time you're talking to a friend and you feel like they aren't listening, they probably aren't.
Number 9. Lip biting. In one scenario, you may be talking with your boyfriend and after you ask them a specific question, you notice that they start to bite their lip. You start panicking thinking they may be lying to you, but lip biting has a variety of meanings. Many people bite their lips when they feel nervous or anxious. In fact, it's extremely common, and it doesn't only occur with anxiety disorders, but we do it when we feel discomfort in a given situation. Some people may realize it and some may not. For others, lip biting can be done out of frustration or that they're thinking about something. Someone may bite their lips as a form of reaction to prevent themselves from saying things they don't want to. This might be a control issue. When people are annoyed or aggravated, they will bite their lips as a sign of their impatience. But other times, lip biting is merely harmless and will do it when they are flirting with others to be seductive or draw attention. As with other body language cues, it's important to observe before making a judgment carefully. Number 8. Hand movements.
We use our hands for everything, including to talk.
In fact, our brain automatically uses your hands to convey gestures, thoughts, and emotions without you even knowing it. When a person is talking with their palms up, combined with outstretched arms, indicates openness and acceptance. But if their palms are down, along with strained fingers, it shows defiance and authority. If a person does this to you during a conversation, it means they aren't going to change their mind, and you might have to take another approach. Many men will also have their hands behind their back, which assert some amount of confidence. Chopping hand movements are used to make a point clear and concise. A person who chops their hands has their mind set and will unlikely change it. If a person has their hands in their pocket, it means reluctance and unwillingness, so this means you will have to gain their trust first. When a person rubs their hands together, this conveys anticipation and excitement. If they are rubbing their knuckles at the same time, it means they are ready for more action, and it can be seen as a form of positive stress. Now, with all these gestures that our hands make, it is important to pay attention to your own hands too. You never know what body language cues you could be giving away. Number 7. Posture. The way you stand can quickly indicate confidence or uncertainty. By standing up straight and tall means you are asserting your dominance in your social settings. By putting your hands on your hips, you have just created the power pose. Power posing automatically increases confidence and testosterone and lowers the stress hormone cortisol. Other power poses include standing straight and practicing stillness in the body. However, if you are in a group of your friends, squaring your chest towards someone and being eye level with them shows you are reciprocating what they are saying. The same can be said if you are passing by a group of friends. If a person calls out to you and they are slightly angled towards you, they are welcoming you into the conversation. However, if this person has their back to you instead, it means they are holding their ground and they do not want you to come into their circle. Now, if you tend to slouch in your social surroundings, you could be sending out a message that says you're worried or hesitant. It may show that you're closed off and unwilling to participate. To fix all this, all you have to do is open up your chest area by setting your shoulders back and inhaling deeply to relax yourself. Number 6. Foot pointing. When we communicate with other people, our attention is solely focused on what they say and how they say it. We look for facial expressions and cues on what they make to indicate body language. But how many of us actually pay attention to their feet? If anything, we almost never look down. But a person's foot movements can be the most accurate indication of their actual feelings without having them to speak of their true feelings at all. In any group setting, the direction of which our dominant foot reveals the way we want to go, even if they're engaged in another conversation with other people. For example, if you see a coworker talking to another coworker, but their foot is pointed towards you, then it means they want to approach you. You can confirm this body cue by the sly gaze that they might give you as they try to keep you in their line of sight as much as possible. It's important to note that even before a person positions their body to where they want to go, they will move their feet first. The same applies when we want to exit a conversation. A person who intends to leave a conversation will point their foot in a direction away from the group and will leave that way. Number 5. Hair twirling.
Actions speak louder than words, and we simply talk volumes just by touching our hair a certain way.
Hair feels soft and silky between our fingers, which can be a reason why many women do so. But if you've noticed, women will subconsciously twirl their hair wherever they're at. It's a mindless activity that is mainly associated with flirting. A simple hair flip is done to grab a guy's attention, but hair twirling is actually a relaxing activity, and it helps calm the person down as well as decrease their heart rate. In other cases, to others who witness hair twirling, it can be seen as childlike or convey insecurity. But as with any cue, pay attention to when you do it and how you do it, so you don't want to send out the wrong message. Number 4. Crossing your legs. For men and women, crossing one leg over the other is a very popular way to sit, and it can have several variations. Ladies prefer to sit with one leg tightly over the other to highlight the legs, while men will often sit using the four-figure sitting cross-leg position. The standard leg over leg stand is typically done with the dominant leg on top. It can specify a reserved attitude and may show that this person is closed off. That's not always the case. In fact, it has a lot to do with comfort and personal habits. Sitting in a chair with no available armrest might be difficult to sit in, so it might be more convenient for the person to sit in a crossed position with their hands on their thighs. Women tend to sit with crossed legs due to their clothing and because of established habits. For men, the four-figure position with a wagging or relaxed foot gives them more room to breathe in their groin area and can also indicate that they're open to conversation and are relaxed and calm. However, it can also indicate they have a challenging and competitive outlook, or they might show frustration if they are sitting in a four-figure position and their foot is shaking non-stop. Number 3. Finger pointing. Pointing a finger to an object or place is a clear indication of pointing to the right item or which direction it is placed at. However, pointing a finger, especially your pointer finger, at a person while talking is an authoritative act.
Many people do this to show dominance and power.
Parents do it to their children when they have misbehaved, and teachers do it to students who are acting out. It's a form of expression that conveys anger and aggression, and it's a way to talk down to that person. In most cases, it is seen as rude and impolite, and it's a more offensive and confrontational approach when done in any situation. In other cases, finger pointing done in a playful manner combined with a flirty wink conveys acknowledgement and approval. This is mostly done in settings when people are trying to get someone's attention. Overall, pointing a finger adds emphasis when the person is talking. Many politicians or pastors point fingers as they speak, but in recent years it has been refined to point with your whole hand instead. Number 2. Locking ankles. Both men and women entwine their ankles. Similar to lip biting, it conveys self-restraint and holding oneself back. It can hide feelings of anger, aggravation, fear, and other negative emotions. Men will mainly lock their ankles while sitting down, and usually their hands will be clinging tightly to the chair's arm, whereas females will close both legs and lock ankles and turn to the side. A lawyer study showed that defendants who waited outside the courtroom just before their hearing were 3 times more likely, on average, to have their ankles locked under their chairs in a bid to control their emotional state. Another study conducted on several hundreds of dental patients discovered that 88% of them locked their ankles as soon as they got into their dental chair. In the same study, patients who were only having a general checkup locked their ankles 68% of the time, and 98% of people locked their ankles when the dentist gave them a numbing injection. Since locked ankles are mainly associated with negative emotions, there are a few ways to get people to unlock their ankles.
For instance, asking positive questions about their feelings can get them to relax and decrease their worry.
Number 1. Nail biting. Nail biting is often a habit most people turn to when they feel stressed or nervous. It is a nonverbal gesture that started during childhood and carried over to adulthood. While it is a difficult habit to break, it is also very common. It is an involuntary response in social situations that can have a variety of meanings. It can convey boredom or agitation, or when explored deeper, it is found in both kids and adults that nail biting is linked to self-beating. This is subconscious, repetitive behavior. During stressful situations, we feel that we have lost control, so nail biting helps that person to reduce that feeling. Also, when we sink our teeth into something, it makes us feel powerful, and it doesn't have to be our nails either. Some people bite on pencils or pens too. The need to feel powerful is ignited by the feeling of powerlessness, so this is where our subconscious stems from.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.